Relativity Records, same as the other one, same as it ever was. And we're actually going through these pretty quickly, so this is this is an album, 2 albums by someone named Larry Norman. Now, I have seen Larry Norman albums all of my life, ever since I started picking up and collecting records and looking at records. I've seen Larry Norman albums almost every time I go out and look into record bins, but for some reason I just never bothered to investigate Larry Norman further. Let me get a teeny weeny sip of coffee here. And so I saw this pair of Larry Norman albums yesterday. They're definitely early, semi-early albums by Larry Norman, and this album cover really struck me as being pretty great. Larry Norman was a Christian rock and roller. He was from Texas. It seems like he did a lot of his work in California. He was kind of a record company guy. He helped record people. He was a producer. He put out his own albums, which apparently number in the hundreds, or at least 100 albums on his own. This album especially, it sounds kind of like country rock. Larry has a very appealing Texas accent, so it's kind of like a very easygoing rock and roll from Texas. And this cover, it looks like Larry's either in the water or he's flying. He's doing something. The focus of this cover is right here on Larry. There's some sort of light, a transcendent light right on his face. The rest of his body is kind of in blue. His hair is floating or flowing. He looks very content and happy, very assured of himself. The lettering is perfectly placed, really, in white, a white font, and it's just a very blue cover. And the flip side features looks like the rest of Larry Norman. His hands, which kind of continue from the front cover. Here are his outreached hands, and here are the lyrics. It also looks like Larry loved to write lyrics, so there are many lyrics. This is on Impact Records, which is right here. It's not a very impactful record label, but it is a record label, and that's where this album was produced, at Impact Records, and it's called Upon This Rock. And there was also this other Larry Norman LP, where I found the previous Larry Norman LP. This was produced a little bit later. The Upon This Rock album came out in 1969. This came out in 1980, and it's called So Long Ago, The Garden. And I simply had to pick this one up. I've never seen this album cover before. Here's kind of a double exposure. It might even be a triple exposure. There's a lion kind of interacting with Larry Norman's body. Larry Norman looks like some kind of beast, or some kind of beastly entity here. He's also kind of reclining on this fur or hair behind him, so it's a very effective lion image with Larry Norman here. The writing is very clear. Larry has some sort of symbol as his O, the letter O, and it's just a very mighty cover here. Larry looks fierce and really nice, really great. And Larry reminds me of Ariel Pink. Ariel Pink still makes records, and Ariel Pink produces a lot of music and a lot of albums, just like Larry Norman did. The back cover here features an apple and some snakeskin boots. I assume those are Larry Norman's snakeskin boots. The red on green lettering is kind of lost. This is apparently some sort of lost album with some assorted singles on it. and it's on Fido Records. This was, I think, a mail order label that Larry had. Fido spelled P-H-Y-D-E-A-U-X, and the label has kind of a custom, kind of a punk rock feel to it. This came out in 1980. The flip side of the liner notes has a paw print, probably a dog. I think that's a dog print. And the liner notes here just explain how you can only find this album by writing to Larry in California. And so it's a nice little package. The cover is definitely a classic, all-time classic cover. Just stunning, really. It's I've never seen a cover like it, really. It's very unique, and it's unique too. It's very unique and unique. And finally,